And welcome to Mothership Monday. The show will begin in 5 minutes past the hour.
Oh. Yes, as Lainey tries to fix her stupid mic. Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah. You liking this?
Yeah, I'm very much digging this music.
Yeah, this is the best music ever. I can't believe we've never played this before.
Yeah, where has this been? This is great. Oh, shit. This music. I forgot to mute my phone.
It's all good.
Oopsies. Oopsies.
Welcome to anyone who has entered. Mothership Monday will begin in just a few moments.
I feel like they're not used to us being on time.
We're always on time. The house will be on fire, and we're like, you know.
I will still be here. Well, yeah.
I'm like in my boxers when I get to the stream, and I'm like, that's ready to, you know. That's what the working man is when he's streaming, you know.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, you're a responsible person. You got a lot to do. You make every meeting by the skin of your teeth.
Facts.
Facts.
Yeah, that's me. I definitely like to show up to work meetings literally the second that they're starting. Oops. Maybe a few minutes late. Oh my goodness.
Oh God.
What?
Oh, it's the tweeter.
The tweeter? Oh, are you tweeting? Are you tweeting today?
Well, I'm tweeting. I tweet this.
I know.
I let the fools on Twitter know that Mothership Monday's a thing.
Yeah, I stopped with Twitter. I was like, nah, I'm not feeling it.
I know, because Musk left, right? No? Is it no?
No.
Comment? Okay.
No comment.
Yeah, I don't know. I made an account because Elon Musk, our Martian daddy took over.
Was gonna buy everything and then decided not to.
He was gonna take us to the motherland, and now that it's still in the hands of fascist animals, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this app anymore. What's the point, really?
What is the point, really?
Because believe it or not, contrary to popular belief, I do not like getting into arguments. Oh man, I love this job.
I'm just gonna okay. I swear, I think you like debating me. Savvy, hello there, darling. How are you? Hello, Hannah.
You're blaming me.
100%.
Mothership Monday will start in just 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Did you drop all your links?
I am working on one more. Okay. I'm going to try to get, I'm going everywhere. Wow. Well, guess what? I'm going right into your general chat. feel bad about it. Okay, cool.
Blammo.
Blam.
Blammo. Would you describe yourself as ready?
I would describe myself as the most ready I could ever be.
Hello and welcome to Mothership Monday. I am the Fat Mantis, and I am here with
Lainey. Hi, guys.
Lainey. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm
excited
amazing.
for this.
Mothership Monday is my favorite day of the week. I gotta say that.
Mine too, for sure.
Yes, and so this is the show where we talk about all things supernatural, paranormal, and we bring the truth, or as much as the truth as we can get to, about things about the paranormal. We talk the talk. We proliferate gossip, knowledge, and a lot of fun. And I hope you guys are all enjoying it. Before we get into today's subject, which of course is werewolves, as any literate person viewing can see, I'm asking you guys to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and remember to follow us in our Discords and any other social media. Wherever you're viewing or listening to this, please like, share, subscribe, follow, whatever the good things are, hit all those buttons.
Yes, please, please.
Okay, so Lainey, today we're talking about a very controversial topic.
Is it controversial?
I think it's very controversial. First, I want to give a shout out to Savvy A's, Hannah Banana HD, Ken W, AJ the Rebel, Izzy, and everyone else who's tuning in today. We love you guys. So I think it's controversial. What do you think?
I mean, I guess there is some controversy behind all of these lovely things that we speak about, especially when it comes to creatures of the night.
Well, no, wait, here's the thing I gotta say. Here's why it's controversial.
Oh, okay.
If I were to hear weird noises in my house,
Mm-hmm.
and it went to somebody and I said, I think my house is haunted, most people wouldn't think I was crazy. Most people would be like, so I think on some level, people kind of believe in ghosts on some level, right?
Okay.
I would think most, right?
Most people believe in ghosts, I think, yes.
And so, and then, if I were to see some suave, sophisticated aristocrat biting into some chick's neck in the middle of the night at a nightclub, I'd be like, I think I saw a vampire. Less people than the ghosts would believe me, but a certain percentage of people would believe me.
Okay. I get
But
that.
If I see some sort of creature out in the woods and I say I saw a werewolf, I'm getting locked up. I'm getting sent to a rubber room.
Which I find interesting because werewolves have actually been around almost as long, actually just as long as vampires.
Oh, absolutely. There's no single origin that dates all the way back. I want to point out a comment of the hour. Matt, welcome into the stream. He says, "Hail, Fat Mantis and Lainey." I like that attitude.
Hi, Matt.
Thank you,
I like
Matt.
that attitude too.
And Matt says he believes in ghosts. Okay.
He doesn't believe in ghosts. Okay.
Oh, he doesn't?
No.
I don't believe in ghosts. Oh, wow.
I'm a little surprised by that, to be completely honest.
Hannah says that's good. I'm hanging in there. I'm glad you're here, Hannah Banana. Always appreciate you. And there's Savvy just being a really good friend. So the question I start every mothership on, Lainey, do you believe in ghosts?
Werewolves?
Well, no. I meant ghosts.
I do believe in ghosts, 100%.
Okay. Do you believe in vampires?
I do believe in vampires, 100%.
100%?
100%.
Okay, so you're 100 on both.
I am.
You're sure they both exist?
Yeah.
Okay, werewolves. You believe in werewolves?
I do believe in werewolves.
100%?
100%.
Okay.
I think they're out there. I think that honestly, every time we talk about this sort of stuff, when there's so much lore put into a creature, and there's so much background between multiple facets of religion and societies, I believe they're real.
Okay. I too believe in werewolves. I actually would say I believe in werewolves more than I would say vampires.
No way, really?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
On that
Okay.
list, I think it goes ghosts, werewolves, and then vampires is like kind of way down.
Like way down? Like you believe in other things before vampires?
Basically, what I think it is that I do believe that bloodsuckers exist. I don't think they're the things we think they are.
See, this is my message for you
Believe.
guys today. Believe.
And here's my message of the day: Stone Harbor, eat pineapples. Boom. But getting into it, Hannah says, plug your pole journey, Mantis. Yeah, so and other things, if you guys tune in to Brunch with the Fat Mantis, that's every weekday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. I do a hangout stream on Twitch and also Green Room, Spotify Live. And I basically have been bet. I'm to win a bet. I have to take a pole dancing class, and on November 1st, I will be doing a pole dancing stream. To let you know, I am a heterosexual. Pole dancing is for all peoples. But some people think I can't do it. I'm going to prove them wrong. So please tune into that. That's awesome.
I totally think you can do it, and I'm like super excited for this pole journey, to be completely honest. It's going to be fun to watch.
It's going to be fun to watch. But the question is, do werewolves pole dance?
Do werewolves pole dance? I mean, it would make sense for them to pole dance, right? Like, why can't they also, they're still humans, so, yeah.
I think a lot of pole dancers are werewolves, considering their physiques. You know what I mean? Because, like, if it's anything like True Blood, those guys are fit. The werewolves are fit, right?
They are fit. I mean, yeah, I could see that happening. What the heck happened to my computer?
Ken W says, I've got 2 silver bullets ready to spin. Savvy says, yeah, I believe in ghosts. Izzy says, I believe anything that can't be proven wrong. There we go.
Now that is a good mentality to have.
People used to call me a werewolf in middle school. Maybe you are one.
Maybe.
Do you think there's any connection with werewolves and the government creating so-called Wolfman conspiracy? I don't know about the Wolfman conspiracy.
I'm not familiar with the Wolfman either.
Ken says, why do you believe that werewolves are more plausible than vampires?
That's a good question.
Because witness identification of things that we would call vampires, it's not like Interview with a Vampire where people sit down and actually talk with them and they're like, what was your life like? What's going on? Do you have feelings? Are you a sad poet? Exactly like Interviewing with a Vampire. They're just things that crawl out of the ground and bite you and drink blood and then go back to sleep in a coffin. That's more of like a demon. That's not what we think vampires are. I don't think vampirism would be fun.
Well, it might not be fun, but I mean, I think that he was asking the question of why you believe werewolves could be more real then.
But I'm saying there have been far more sightings. There was actually far more sightings of things we call of shapeshifters. And almost every culture seems to have an identification of these shapeshifters. Like in the Middle East, they're called jinn, skinwalkers to the Navajo people out in Utah and New Mexico. There seem to be, throughout Europe, all the tribes of Europe seem to have some sort of connection with identifications of men turning into beasts.
Absolutely.
Okay. Hannah says, I am a bloodsucker. We know that, Hannah. She set herself up.
Only swingers eat pineapple.
Oh, God.
Yes, we know.
Well, don't you have to be married to be a swinger? I can't be a swinger.
I mean, you don't have to technically be married. You have to be in a relationship to be a swinger.
Yeah, so I don't apply. None of that applies to me.
When are we getting the Nope review?
So this Wednesday, I'm doing a Nope discussion to anyone who's seen it. If I want to get a bunch of people who are on the mic who have seen it and want to discuss it with me at Rogue Planet. And that's
always working. It makes me so sad, but I will definitely watch it and listen in while I'm at work.
Yeah, AJ says I'll bring the dollar bills. Yeah, for the stream.
He says he is.
Werewolves are amazing grip to hang on to that. Matt says, I want to see you pole dance. I'll hang out on the tip line. Yeah, I'll have my Cash App up. If you guys notice, the Cash Apps are up. So anything you ever want to donate to the show or us, or so we can keep We can keep making an amazing content. But do you think it's more cursed, vampires or werewolves? So my theory is that vampires are, in the real world, the best I can understand, is they are either monsters who have taken the image of your loved one, or they're riding your loved one's body. They're in it like it's a meat suit.
Okay.
And so I'm hoping that whoever died and their body is taken. I think they're like in the afterlife, and it's not even bothering them anymore.
So you think that the vampires are more cursed? So wait,
no. But I think the werewolves are suffering. Werewolf
Okay.
seems to be a suffering of an endless hunger and an endless rage. Right.
So let's get into that. So yeah. Actually, most cultures do say that werewolves have always been cursed. Fun fact, guys, that it is actually a trope that you become a werewolf by being bitten. That is not in actual lore. Most of the time, you become either a werewolf by wearing a wolf pelt, lotions, potions, or being cursed by a witch.
So actually, I'll tell you, Dr. Emily Zarka, who studies monsters or the psychology of monsters, he says there's basically three identifications of types of werewolves that have to do with their origins. And so the first one is the victim. This is an innocent person who is cursed. An innocent who is cursed to walk the earth as a werewolf. The next is the damned. Somebody who has done a heinous action, and they are either cursed by a god or something. They've done something heinous. It's usually murder of the innocents, or in the ancient days, cannibalism. You could get turned into a werewolf. And then the third was the warrior archetype. And so those are people who channel the spirit of the wolf into them for war. An example is Viking berserkers. And they used to believe they could channel the wolves. And that was because legends of old were like, there were guys who could channel wolves so good that they literally turned into wolves for war. So yeah, there's a bunch of them. And, in the early days, I believe it's Serbia, in ancient days of Serbia, the belief was that if you drank water from the footprint of a wolf, I don't know why you would do that. Like, you'd have to be pretty.
You'd have to be pretty desperate. But like, if you can't find water and there's a wolf paw that's got it, I'm drinking from it.
Their footprint, their paw print, you turn into a werewolf. The Danish belief was that only truly violent men get cursed to become werewolves.
Correct.
And then, meanwhile, in Russia, being Russia, they say, if a witch plants her girdle underneath the building where you're getting married, you will turn into a werewolf.
Correct. Correct.
So if you know any witches, just make sure they're not taking their girdles to your house. Right? Like, what is that so bizarre? Like, who plants a girdle in the foundation of a building? That doesn't make any sense.
I think it's weird, but I don't think it's bizarre. Like, these are all beliefs of other cultures. So who's to say that it's bizarre?
This is where it is. We're going to go over the history of werewolves in this cast, but it shows the bottlenecking of mythology, that people don't know where these things come from, so they make it up.
Correct. Oh yeah, 100%.
Right? They're like, how did they get that way? And they're like, well, he was getting married, and this witch down the road didn't like him, so she took off her girdle and she buried it under the church. It's like,
just so he would turn into a werewolf.
And the little kid was like, Dad, why didn't you just say I don't know? Right.
I kind of get the paw print, like that does kind of make sense to me. But did you also know that even the moon is a trope? The full moon.
Obviously, I want to be a werewolf.
Obviously,
minus the blood sucking. So we'll go over some legends, because I've actually, in some ancient days, for instance, what is it? What's the one? The 11th century one. Oh no, the 12th century. The 12th century legend of the Bisclave. was a knight who was a werewolf. Apparently, he turned into a werewolf every third night. So it had nothing to do with the moon.
It had nothing to do with the moon. No, it had nothing to do with the moon. And then also, I'll let you tell this story, but I know this story.
Oh, I love it. It's actually my favorite. But I want to do it. I want to actually tell stories in order and like the history of werewolfness.
Okay.
So yeah, because I don't want us to jump all over the place. We
No, I love that. Look at you. Wait, let's see your notepad. Is it actually like timelined out? It is. The legal pad is here to stay, guys. I love it so much.
Ew. I don't understand. I work for this podcast and I'm getting made fun of.
No, I'm not making fun of you. I work for this podcast too, but I got a good memory, I guess.
And it says, I'm sorry for planting my girdle under your church where you got married, guys. Gray Window says werewolves are just aggressive furries. Nowadays
furries.
They are, right?
Nowadays they are. They've kind of ruined the werewolf lore a little bit for me.
Really? I'm like into it.
I mean, some of it I'm into. There was what was that TV show? Cursed?
D says there is definitely something going on between the groom with the witch and the groom.
Oh, 100%. There was something going on, 100%.
So yeah, what is that's funny that we didn't even put on the schedule witches, because I guess that falls in the normal black magic.
Thinking of that. Didn't we talk about that last week too? I was like, we haven't done covens yet. Like that doesn't make any sense to me.
We should definitely do an episode.
We definitely need to do covens.
Because next Monday we're doing dragons.
Next Monday we'll talk about that off stream.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but the point is that like, what is a witch other than like a woman who's kind of, as we call them, witchy broads nowadays, but like mystical woman who's scorned. Because why else is she going around cursing people?
Is that the only reason that we women can be witches? It's because we're scorned.
I feel like that question is a trap to get me canceled.
No, not to get you canceled, but it's definitely. I wouldn't say it's a trap. I would say that it's a loaded question.
Well, in all these fairy tales, why are these witches eating children and cursing people for no good reason? Like it's their job. Like
because they must have a good reason. Because the Christians decided that witches were evil. Eye roll. I
love that. I was watching a YouTube channel that was trying to condemn the church for being against werewolfism. And one of the big cases that they have, which we'll get into, but this guy murdered 14 children and 2 pregnant women. Yep. And they were like, he's a werewolf, and they killed him. And people were like, well, the church is bigoted against werewolves. Yeah, I'm bigoted against people who kill children. I must be a real bigot. Like, why are they getting criticized for trying to stomp that out? Like that doesn't make any sense.
I mean, it does. Okay. Anyhow.
Right? They're like, these poor witches. They were just sacrificing babies. Which do you prefer? Werewolves that turn into just regular wolves, or a werewolf that turns into a hulking 2-legged wolfman? Wolfman.
Yeah, Wolfman for sure.
Wolfman's fun.
For sure. Like, do I believe that werewolves are probably more so wolf-like? Yeah. But I love the concept of a big hulking 2-legged wolfman.
Yeah, I want a mystical wolf. I don't want just any old wolf. I mean, here's what I'm saying. If someone's like, I got a party trick, and I'm like, do it, and then they turn into a wolf, I'd be like, that's impressive. But if someone's like, I got a party trick, and they turn into a hulking wolf creature, I'd be like, A+.
Oh my God, you would too.
No, that's impressive. Anyone can become a dog.
I mean, no, but. Yes, anybody can turn into a dog. 100%.
I do that in my sleep. What up, Demon Omega? Ken says, I feel like the werewolf has no real history. So there's no singular origin. But if we're going back to the ancient world, in Greek and Roman times, Olympionyx was written by Agrippius. I'm totally mispronouncing his name. Where a human got cursed turned into a werewolf for eating the entrails of other humans. And then later on, Metamorphoses was written by Ovid. And that's where Jupiter comes down and finds the king Lycaon, and curses him into a werewolf because he engages in ritual cannibalism.
Well, he also tried to, you're missing a part there. So he also did not believe that Jupiter was a god.
Right.
So
Jupiter went down there because he was eating people and stuff.
Correct.
Yeah. So
but
that's, and then he also didn't believe him.
Right. And then he tried to serve Jupiter. Are you going to let me talk, sir? And then he tried to serve Jupiter human meat, and that's when he turned him into a
okay. I didn't know that fact. That is okay.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think that might have been the Greek mythology. But so basically, Greek and Roman, they're obviously very similar. You've got Pluto, and then you've got Zeus, right? But it's still the same. It's the same exact story. He just tried to serve human meat to one of the gods. Might have been Zeus.
Yeah, so basically, if you're going to cannibalize people, just don't serve it to anybody else. Keep it into your own private life. It's kind of like you're a kink, right?
I feel like you're a cannibal.
So Hannah says, who doesn't like to eat children? So here's a funny thing. I've never met Hannah in real life, but she says the darndest things.
Yes, she does.
I feel like maybe she could be a werewolf.
Werewolf, vampire. She's something. Hi. Oh my God, I thought y'all were gonna stream on YouTube. We are on YouTube.
Yeah, we're both on YouTube and on Twitch simultaneously, actually. Exorcist, welcome in though. Much appreciated.
Beowulf, Izzy, that's a really good. Sorry, I did read the chat, but Beowulf, that's a good story.
That is a good story.
Mm-hmm.
Not all witches are female, and if you look in the history, males were called. Yes, absolutely. And we're gonna get into witch hunts in a little bit. Disa sounds like a sexy beast. AJ says, I've seen that trick before. Did you see the episode of Love, Death, and Robots with the werewolf soldiers? And what do you think about that episode using werewolves in the military? I'm totally into it. I really like that. Did you see that episode, Lainey?
I did see. I saw all the episodes. Also, great show, guys. If you haven't seen it, I highly suggest it. The art is beautiful. The stories are really cool. Yeah, she stood her ground. Yes, Lainey. What did I do?
Against me cutting because I'm a werewolf man. Apparently.
You are a werewolf. My God. Mantis definitely eats people. I believe it. I believe it. 100%. I do think that you are a cannibal.
So in the Norse mythology, there's a lot of werewolfism in North stories.
There is. And wait, but to get back to Matt's question about Love, Death, and Robots, yes, I really did like that because there's a lot of belief that werewolves are an army, basically.
Right. I would say this. The thing that I found unbelievable, and I think this happens all the time in X-Men comics or like other things, is when people or creatures have like super abilities, like truly super abilities. I just don't believe bullies would really come at them like that. Like in this werewolf story that we're talking about, the other military guys are hazing the two werewolf soldiers, the two dog soldiers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I would never talk smack to a wolf man. Like
100%. Yeah, no, that was bizarre to me. For sure. I'm like sitting there like, you guys are crazy. But oh my God, what a good episode.
It was a good episode.
I won't spoil it. I'm not going to spoil it for everybody. I think I don't support cannibalism, but pop off, King.
Yeah, thank you for being so supportive.
I don't think any of us really support cannibalism other than our cannibalistic friends in chat.
Right.
Yes, when you said, are you going to let me talk, sir? I am here for that sass. Sorry.
Well, thank you for rubbing salt on the wound. I mean, I was under the impression I was letting her talk, but I don't know. I think the sass is coming out of nowhere.
We can move on and start talking about werewolves now. I am Beowulf.
Okay, so we're getting into the fun history of werewolves, because as we all know, in the ancient world, you can't really know if any of these stories are true or where people are getting them or what's the inspiration, what's the motivation, right? So it's funny. The first usage of the word werewolf is found in a religious book, actually, and called the Ecclesian Ordinance of King Canute, where a werewolf was referred to as somebody who preys on weak and naive members of a given priest's flock. They say you can't let the werewolves pick off your people.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But that was the first time it actually was put in writing in any official capacity that we can find. Right?
Okay.
But then we come around to the 12th century where it's our nightly tale that you wanted me to tell. Biz Clarev.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So this is the story. This is the story of a medieval knight who is a werewolf. Or before he actually says that, he has a secret. He marries a young maiden, but every third day he vanishes from the house and he's out all day and all night. And so she starts to believe that he's cheating on her. And so what does she do? Instead of communicating, she takes another lover. Well, one day she confronts him and she's like, yo, why are you always out? And then he confesses to her, I turn into a wolf every third day. I have to go out and hunt. And he's like, but the thing is that he's like, I was told, and he never explains where he gets this curse. He has to hide his clothes, and he says, if I don't get back to my clothes, I cannot turn back into a human. So he hides them in a different place every night. While his wife and her lover conspire against him, they're like, we can take his fortune if he goes up vanishing. Find out where his clothes are. So the wife probes him and nags him as women do. And she gets the location of the clothes. And so when he's out being a werewolf, she takes the clothes. He can't get back to his clothes, so he's stuck in wolf form out in the woods. This woman, he's declared dead, and she marries her lover. They take his fortune and all his things, right? One day, the king, years later, is out walking. He's actually riding out in the woods, and he encounters a giant, ferocious wolf that he thinks is going to kill him. But instead, the wolf bows to him. The man says, this is a noble creature. I'm going to take you back to the court with me and treat you good. Right? Because logic. Right? So
logic.
He does that. And then
logical.
When it's the dinner party at the court, his wife... his ex-wife and her new husband are there, and he brutally attacks them. And particularly, they point out that he rips her nose off with his claw. Mm-hmm. I love that detail. So she's for being a witch, she gets a nose job, right? So finally, they're forced to admit, commotion happens. And she finally admits what she did. He gets his clothes back. They don't kill them. They banish them, and they have to live in their ugliness because they're disfigured. Mm-hmm. I love this story.
It's a great story. It's the first romanticized story of a werewolf as well.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm into it. You think it's based on any truth?
I mean, yeah, I can get down with some of the truth on this. I do think that, like I said, I do believe in werewolves. And it's not like it was a written story, like as a story. This was written as history, facts. So also the king was friendly with the knight himself. So I think there's truth. Yeah. No,
absolutely.
I
mean, there's a lot of wolf tales. So here's the thing. Before we get any further in the history of werewolfism, some people really believe that werewolf stories are analogies. Or don't trust strangers, right? Look at Little Red Riding Hood, which wasn't written in our timeline yet, but it's supposed to be like, don't trust strangers. Men are like wolves, and they're gonna hurt you, which is probably an allegory for sexual assault, right?
Well, right, but a lot of people also believe that Little Red Riding Hood itself is written based on a werewolf. Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely a werewolf. I read it and I see a werewolf story.
100%.
Yeah.
It can look like man and 100% it's a werewolf.
It's just interesting that I think that one of the reasons why people love the werewolf or connected to the werewolf is I think wolves are very much like us. Or what do you think?
Absolutely. 100%. They live in families. They're pack life. They eat similar to us. They hunt similar to us. Wolves are very, very similar to humans. And I think that that's why we domesticated them and turned them into man's best friend.
And now they're chihuahuas.
Yeah. Those goddamn chihuahuas. Sorry.
His ancestor was a giant wolf that used to eat kings and queens.
Yeah, right, exactly. Now it's a freaking little, anyway.
Yeah. The chihuahua, what is it, Taco Bell dog?
But, oh, yeah. Oh, those damn chihuahuas.
You guys know how dog years go by faster than ours? Imagine a time traveling half man, half wolf, and call it a wenwolf.
Kind of like the Rick and Morty concept. That's hilarious.
Oh my God, you need to write that story, Izzy.
Yeah, that's a good story.
How did he become a werewolf? So the story doesn't tell us how he becomes a werewolf.
It does not tell us how he became a werewolf. I do believe that he was probably cursed. You want your nose, you toxic bitch.
I love AJ's comment. Why didn't you make a Disney movie out of that?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, and as we all know, Grimm's fairy tales, which are ancient tales. The Grimm brothers didn't write it; they just traveled around Europe collecting these ancient tales and writing them down. So it wasn't until the 1800s that they published that. But
Correct.
The stories are old, way old. And they're all Grimm's fairy tales are like brutal.
Grimm's fairy tales are super brutal, and then Disney they romanticized them. And like, guys, if you want a good horror-based book/movie, watch the Grimms. Read the Grimms. I literally own the whole collection. Sorry, not sorry.
No, don't be sorry. You're an educated woman.
I've got Edgar Allan Poe sitting next to me, Grimm somewhere in my. Anyway, chihuahuas are terrifying. To be fair, though, you ever been chased? Yo, I have to agree. Chihuahuas are the most terrifying dogs I've ever encountered in my entire life. I want a pet wolf. Me too.
No, you can't domesticate. You can't domesticate a wolf. I mean, you could, but I wouldn't advise it.
I think that wolves are like we said earlier. Wolves are very similar to humans, and if you were to try to integrate yourself into a pack, you 100% could. I've seen it happen.
Well, there are wolf children, right? They being raised. It's so funny that we didn't even mention this. The friggin' founders of Rome are werewolves.
Yeah.
Romulus and Remus were raised by a wolf mother.
Yes, absolutely. So there you go. That's a werewolf right there. That's literally a wolf man.
Yeah.
So that's the fun fact. I don't know if we got into that, but were actually does mean man, which is exactly why it is werewolf. Yeah. I was raised by wolves. I was too, guys. Can't you tell? Arr.
Yeah, that's her. She was raised with chihuahuas. Like my friend had 2 pet wolves, and when one died, the other got sick. I mean, it's so sad. They should be wild. They should be out in the. I mean, that's my own personal opinion, but.
I mean, listen, yeah, they should be 100%, but I do think that there's something innately beautiful about raising or being part of a wolf pack. I would 100% join a wolf pack any day. Turn me into a werewolf. I will drink out of your paw print. Yes, please.
So, after the 12th century,
yes,
the economics of medieval Europe changed, and
Correct.
Farms got bigger. Livestock became bigger importance. It was like less of these small farms and more of these bigger ones. And when that happened, wolves were like, check out the buffet over here. There are a bunch
Correct.
of sheep. There are a bunch of goats. Let's go for it. And in the late medieval period, wolves became the enemy of the people. Mm-hmm. People freaking hated wolves. They were the worst thing that could ever happen. And that's when the story of Little Red Riding Hood started getting told. it's funny that it has the dual edge of telling you not to stay away from wolves, but also to stay away from strangers. So don't go out in the woods by yourself, stuff like that.
Right. Follow the path. Listen to grandma.
Right.
Yeah.
And so in 1486, and actually what's funny is I have a note down that after this 12th century story from France we talked about with the knight, there were an increasing amount of werewolves lovers stories started coming out. People were writing these stories about my lover is a werewolf, poor man, right? He's become sympathetic. He's not just like some creature of the night. But in 1486, 2 priests would write the book Malleus Maleficarum. You know it? So that translates to Hammer of the Witch. And so these 2 priests were actually witch hunters. And so they wrote a field guide. They wrote it in Latin for priests, other priests, how to hunt down witches and how to identify witches. But what's interesting is they had several chapters dedicated to werewolves. And so werewolves became truly like a hated thing. And so there are things like witch trials, and there's hunting of witches, but there's also hunting of werewolves. They were hunting
there
for
were
people.
wolf trials too. Correct. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Scary times, right?
I mean, it is super scary times, 100%. But there was also belief that werewolves could potentially be male witches that were able to turn or to make you perceive that they looked like a wolf. It is pretty fascinating, though, that I didn't know this. Like, I actually just found this out that it wasn't just witch trials, but werewolves were being burnt at the stake too. Yeah. Yeah. They were huge, beautiful, and scary. Absolutely.
So in real life, the most scary or the most well-known werewolf, at least of the medieval period, in the 1500s, his name was Peter Stubbs or Peter Stube. Maybe it's pronounced Stube. German guy, had been killing people for 25 years of his own admission. He'd killed 14 children, 2 pregnant women. He had an incestuous relationship with both his sister and his daughter, and he killed his son by eating his brains. This man would confess and claim that the devil turned him into a werewolf, and that's why he killed these people. They ended up peeling off his skin, like they tied him to like a stake, a circular stake, peeled like with superheated things, peeled off all his skin, and then burnt him, his sister, and his daughter. Horrible for participating in the incest, but she's a young daughter. How did she have any way to control that? Right. They burned them while they were tied to a wolf effigy. It's badass.
That's badass.
That's a badass way to kill somebody. That's a badass.
It's like the new machine that beheads you.
Oh yes, the new machine that they're doing in Ohio. You think that was like?
I don't think it was real. I don't think it was real.
I feel like that's got to be a joke.
It's got to be fake.
And the way the reporter was saying it was just.
Yeah, it seemed like it was out of a movie or something. But anyway, yeah. So, I mean, yeah. Could you imagine? And then but I feel that he probably ate his son's brains because he was a wolf as well, and animals do that. When they're threatened that they're gonna not be the alpha anymore, they end up killing their young.
I mean, and so I would actually, and I know you know this, but it's we use it all the time, alpha and beta, right? Although that is a reference to studying of wolves, we as humans have co-opted it and misuse it all the time.
Oh, 100%.
So like a wolf alpha would never kill. Yeah, he doesn't kill his own kind. He doesn't. Wolf alphas are not bullies. They're like heroes. They're like mayors, the mayors of the pack.
Yeah, they're yeah. Well, yeah,
right, but they don't go around.
That the alpha leads the pack when it actually follows the pack.
Yes, well, what it is because the alpha is physically superior. He can run quick enough up to the front if he needs to help anyone.
Correct.
So he keeps an eye on everybody.
Correct.
But it's funny that we've created this idea that like the wolf alpha goes around and he's like, look at this beta bitch, and he takes the beta's food or something.
No, that's not what I mean. I'm just saying
Right.
that, like,
Oh no, I didn't think you were saying that, but I think that people did.
I'm glad that you didn't think that I was saying that. Thank you.
Ken W says, "What is the true werewolf form?"
That's a really good question. Because there are certain people who do believe that, let's get back to the Norse. The Norse idea was that they didn't change from man, that they would wear pelts and they would embody the spirit of the animal rather than turn into the animal itself. So it was a man wearing a pelt who had the spirit of the wolf. Then you have the mythology of the two-legged monstrous werewolf that we think, the bones break, the fur grows, and they turn into this monster. And then there's the idea, especially from the Indian culture, Native American culture, that they turn into an actual wolf.
Right.
Yeah.
Hannah says lycanthrope. Yeah, so lycanthropy, which is actually in the olden world a reference to an actual werewolf that physically transforms.
Correct.
Later on, psychology would co-opt that term to somebody who with cannibalistic or believes they're animalistic psychosis.
Correct.
And so, it's funny that term lycanthropy lycanthrope comes from that Greek king we were talking about, who Jupiter cursed. His name was Lycaon.
Yeah.
These foreign names.
Why
can't he just be named George or something? George or Sam or something. Something normal, damn it.
Let us say it. Thank you. Yeah. No such thing as an alpha human. I agree 100%.
What you talking about? I'm an alpha.
All these men out here saying that they're alphas and betas.
I'm an alpha. That's why I cut you off all the time.
No, you're just a dick. You believe, you know what? You do you, boo. No, they just assume they're alpha.
Yes, everyone's out there saying they're an alpha. Like Will Smith thinks he's an alpha. Will Smith is such a beta.
Oh, Will Smith. Listen, I'm not getting into this, but by the way, beautiful short today. It was great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Matt says favorite werewolf book.
I don't think that there really are many werewolf books. It's mostly movies. I don't know.
I would say I'm more familiar with movies and shows, and I would say I gotta say my recommendation in terms of fiction for werewolf right now, Ginger Snaps trilogy.
I've heard Ginger Snaps is really, really good. I've not read it yet.
No, not read. It's trilogy of movies.
No, I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard really good things.
Ginger Snaps. And not only that, it's so there are movies from the 90s. So there's a lot of, and it's about women werewolves. And
which you don't hear a lot about. Most people have the conception that it's only males.
Right. So. It's actually funny. It wasn't until around the 1900s when they started, or late 1800s, that they started bringing in the she-wolf into novels and stuff about.
Yeah. We like that.
And they're all seductive, and they use their animal magnetism to lure men in.
Duh. Don't we do that as humans? Hello?
You think you do that as humans?
No, we know we do that as humans, okay? Yeah.
Maybe you had a different scent after puppies are born. If you touch it before a certain amount of time, they'll eat the puppy. Yeah.
Thank you, Izzy. Thank you very much. He says that wolves wouldn't do that. Okay. Eat your words, sir.
No, because here's what I'm saying. I'm saying a human scent. A human scent will do that to a puppy.
Right.
I do not. I think that it is rare. My understanding is that it's rare that a wolf would hurt in its pack. It's one of the things.
Coming.
God bless you, Lainey. But actually, in monkeys are brutal.
Monkeys are brutal. Cats are brutal. Monkeys are brutal. All
when a monkey takes a mate, if she has other children, he'll kill those children. And so what the monkey female does is she mates with as many as possible, of like the guys who are like in the ranking of being alpha,
Uh-huh,
so that they
uh-huh.
think they're their children. But if the monkey gets a idea that his mate's children are some other monkey's children, he will kill those children.
Okay. Huh.
A lot of children killing in this episode.
There is a lot of children killing in this episode. You know, I guess we don't want kids. I don't.
Oh, Blood and Chocolate! I've heard of that.
The movie was shit though. I'll have to read that. I love reading. I actually prefer reading over TV, but TV is just so much easier. So I'm gonna have to look into that. Hold on, bring that back.
Blood and Chocolate. I vaguely remember hearing about this.
Well, I have noticed that a lot more books have been written about werewolves, especially, and they are super romanticized. Like, I know that there is a new series that it's basically like rom-com. Like it's soft porn.
Well, all these things. That's what I can't stand is all these creatures of the night, all these scary things are being made into comedies. Like, don't get me wrong. I like.
I was going to say, you literally said last week when we were talking about vampires, I don't mind that they're turning it into comedy. I'm sitting there like they're turning all of these scary things into comical things.
Yeah, I think it's about to get oversaturated with comedies, but I'm a defender of What We Do in the Shadows. I think that show is like top notch.
Yeah, I gotta watch that too. Listen, there's just too much TV and not enough time. I don't know. I don't mind some of the comedy being drawn into the creatures of the night, but like let it go, man. I want to be scared. I want that horror.
Yeah, did you see Dog Soldiers?
Yes, I did see Dog Soldiers. That's a good one.
Good stuff. I remember there being a couple of female werewolf in the film. Well, yeah, Underworlds.
Underworld did a lot of their own.
They kind of made them more like
tropes.
superheroes than the supernatural creatures that they profess to be.
But I also think that like werewolves, if we were to get down to the nitty gritty, I think that werewolves probably are the least evil of the three that we've talked about. Like zombies just don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're innately like, just let me eat anything that walks in front of me. Where vampires are like, let me suck your blood, you know, like I won't. Anyway, I'm not gonna do it.
Oh, Transylvanian accent. Please do it.
I want to suck your blood.
I want to suck your blood. 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry.
I cannot. Where werewolves are, they're still very human based, and I think that, you know, they out of all of them should be the most romanticized, in my personal opinion. Lainey doing rails again. Yo, Ken, I wish that was the reason I was sneezing, to be completely honest. But it's oh man, these allergies are killing me.
Actually, I can't address your comment, Izzy. I realize I can't. I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube. Because it's not actually the blood. You know about this?
No, but if you don't, let's not. We won't get into it.
No, real quick. It's based off like QAnon conspiracy that they claim that they're taking kids and like abusing them to have high fear factors, and then taking the chemical of fear out of their brain, and people are taking it like a drug or something.
Like adrenaline?
Yes. Okay. That's what that thing is. But it's so conspiracy theory. It's deep down there. It's QAnon. It's very 4chan.
I feel like I have heard of that. So yeah, we can. Anyway, is Vampire vs. Werewolf? Werewolf killing Dracula historical or from Underworld Van Helsing? So that's where like all of these stories kind of get like jumbled up. I don't think that werewolves and vampires really have. I don't know. Do you think that they have beef with each other?
I don't at all. And not only that, let me ask you. So you become your precious vampire, right? I know you love vampires. You become a beautiful eternal creature who's living in the cities and having your parties, your blood parties, right?
Yeah.
Would you want to then go fight a werewolf? Like the thing on our overlay right now. Would you want to fight that thing?
No, not at all. First of all, I wouldn't want to fight it. Second of all, I'd probably want to befriend it. Like, let's be friends. Let's be buddies. Like, let's go wreak havoc together. You know, like no.
I imagine that a aristocratic vampire probably looks at them as a mangy hounds, the things they wouldn't want to fight, and they would probably stay out of their way, right?
No, that's like the originals. You know, like the originals are basically like, you're a werewolf, I'm a vampire. We are in our own little separate worlds.
Right.
Yeah. Who do you think is the most badass werewolf character in a movie or TV show?
Well, obviously, I don't know. So I like True Blood, so I like that guy from True Blood.
Okay, I actually, I really do enjoy the Underworld series, and I would have to go with, what was his name? Oh my God. What was his name? Help a girl out. Anyway, the guy from Underworld. He was my favorite. Like, he was my favorite Lycan ever. Not the hybrid. The basically the guy.
Scott Speedman. I remember Scott Speedman.
Yeah. I mean,
he becomes cool. Some blue thing.
I didn't love their hybrid. I think that they kind of ruined that.
I didn't understand why he was blue.
They totally ruined it.
Why was he blue?
Like, if you want to do a hybrid, do the hybrid right. But like that hybrid was awfully done. Like, honestly, when oh my God, why I cannot think of names tonight. But
do you see why I have to step on your lines? Because you don't remember them.
The one hybrid was pretty cool. But anyway, I'll definitely need to look up more about that. I love conspiracy theories and haven't heard that one. I love conspiracy theories. I really need to bring Roundhouse Charlie back. Badly.
You got a date and time for us?
Yeah, when I'm not working 70-hour work weeks.
Somebody win Powerball and then you donate to Lainey so she can stream more.
Just win Powerball and take care of me for the rest of my life so I can stream for you guys all of the time. I'd love that, you know?
So I gotta say, I loved what's his face? I loved Oz from Buffy. What did you say?
I think his name was Lestat. It took me a while, but I'm pretty sure his name was Lestat.
Wait, his name is Lestat? A werewolf's name is Lestat?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh wow.
Pretty sure.
So I liked Oz from Buffy.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not like Oz?
I like that Jack dude from True Blood. What other good werewolves? Like I said, I like Ginger. I love Ginger from Ginger Snaps.
I have to watch Ginger Snap. I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Those are all very good ones.
Well, didn't they True Blood had a female werewolf.
I don't know. I like.
She was definitely turned into a werewolf.
You know, I gotta watch that series again.
Sucky's best friend, and she definitely was. It wasn't
Tara.
No, she was Tara turn into a werewolf? She turned into a vampire.
Vampire, yeah. Everyone got turned.
Everybody got turned into a vampire.
Yeah, just like Vampire Diaries. It was such a drag.
It was such a drag. Like,
they couldn't let these characters just be themselves, and they just keep turning into.
Well, that was like the originals too. Everybody gets turned into a vampire. I'm like, can we like broaden the horizon a little bit and like have fun with this? And anyway, I'd rather be honestly. Can I be controversial right now? Because I know you're gonna be shocked. I know you're gonna be shocked by this. I would rather be a werewolf than a vampire.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, I would.
You're lying. Why are you lying? Why are you lying to our guests?
I'm not lying to our guests. Honestly, I think that so I love the idea of running through nature, buck naked, like let's go and like being furry and like free and you know, yeah.
That is the most hippie down answer I've ever heard in my life.
I don't care. That's that would be so epic to me. And honestly, I think that werewolves are still very you know. You can still be a beautiful werewolf and like agile.
I'd rather be a werewolf too, man, because I believe they still have humanity.
Exactly, that's another thing. They definitely have a soul. They've got blood pumping through their veins, and like the idea of being a vampire is awesome, especially if it's a beautiful like suck you in kind of like.
So you'd rather run naked through a forest than have eternal beauty in life?
Yeah. Yeah, because you still have eternal beauty in life if you think about it. Like it's not like werewolves they don't age. They're immortals as well. And
I mean,
well, no,
maybe I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like I know that their life expectancy. That's another thing too, though. If their life expectancies were to slow down, that means that I'm still living a good, decent, beautiful life.
Right.
A long life as a wolf. Fuck yeah, I want to be a wolf.
Izzy says, "Is there a werewolf pyres? Are there werewolf pyres?
Werewolf pyres?
Or like a vampire, like a hybrid, like we were talking about."
I mean, so I can imagine that there's probably the possibility. Why not? If I win the lottery, you have a small portion. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you. Sugar mama, come get me.
because werewolves have nothing to do with vampires, I'm always against hybrids. People try to connect them into like a similar reality, like
Okay,
underworld, like all these things, and they really have nothing to do with each other.
I think that if like I said, I think that they absolutely 100% exist. And it's like sitting there and saying that a werewolf couldn't but you also believe that vampires can't have children. I don't necessarily believe that. They can make their equipment work. They've got swimmers.
What? So this is like very similar to the problem with just from a story point of view. I'm just saying from a story point of view. That would be a similar problem to what they do in American Horror Story very often, where someone gets killed and they're a ghost, but then they allow that ghost to just have a life. Like they can take a human girlfriend and they can still bang and have fun and they can do all these things. Well, then what is the downside to being killed?
There is no downside to being killed.
There should be one, right?
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
If humans are life and we are organic and we breathe life, why in the stories would they ever allow like a dead thing, something that is a literally reanimated corpse, not even reanimated, it's just kind of moving around, so it's be able to create life again? They should lose being killed and being a corpse should eliminate your ability to produce life.
Okay, I mean,
your cells are dead. You know, that's what I'm thinking from a story point of view.
We can agree to disagree.
You've just been reading bad fiction. That's your problem.
Which we do. No, I don't read bad fiction. Thank you very much. I like Ginger Snaps also. I like the werewolf design. I really okay. So I've got 5 movies to watch tonight.
Yeah, there's a lot of. You know what it is werewolves tend to be the slept on monster. Like people don't.
100%.
There's a lot of good fiction for them, but for some reason, vampires always get all the love.
That's because they're beautiful. Hey, Timmy. That's because they're beautiful, long-lasting, living creatures of the night. I mean, I do get I do get it. Also, just so you know, no, Twilight did not have werewolves. Twilight had skinwalkers. Done badly.
Are we going to get into skinwalkers right now? You want to talk about skinwalkers?
We've already talked. Do you want to talk about skinwalkers?
Well, how can we have an episode on werewolves and not talk about it?
Yeah, we can talk about skinwalkers. I would rather be a vampire because I like the taste of blood and sucking the life out of people. I'd watch a bit of Lainey.
Yeah, do a YouTube video of you pretending to be a werewolf. Your werewolf cosplay in the woods. You're some hippie.
All right, guys. So you see this little beautiful name there? That's my Cash App. If you'd like to drop some cash, I will gladly make a video of me running buck. Acting like a werewolf.
Oh man, I love it because streamers are such prostitutes, right? We'll do anything for a buck. I'm like, people are like, man, you can't pull the answer. I'm like, cash at me, and so now I'm doing it. Like,
absolutely.
Can we rather be a vampire?
It's official. You know what? I'd have wolf sex.
I think before you compare werewolf versus vampire, you got to figure out what kind of vampire we're talking about. Like, there's so many variations of all these creatures.
Oh, 100%.
So I'm a big fan of World of Darkness RPGs, like tabletop RPGs. Particularly Werewolf the Forsaken, and Vampire the Masquerade. And so they create a system where you can be, us nerds can pretend to be such things.
Right.
And so they make it that the werewolves are the creatures of nature, and therefore hang out of cities. They're more comfortable outside of cities, and vampires are social creatures that want, because they're sucking on human life, they're going to be found mostly in cities, and they tend to leave each other alone.
So I hate to get back to the originals, but honestly, the originals is based off of like truth. Like, there is supposedly a huge underground vampire community and werewolf community in Louisiana.
Okay. Would you like to tell us more about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess I can. So because the swamps are in Louisiana, it's actually the perfect place for a wolf. There's a lot of prey there. And I mean, vampires, it's a city. Like, it's a huge tourist trap.
Yeah, I mean, Louisiana would be very werewolf. It would be both, right? Yeah.
It would be perfect for both. So I don't know. I do think that there are 100% werewolves and vampires in the same spaces together. Speaking American Horror Stories, just finished your latest vid, Fat Mantis, on episode 2. Good job. Hell.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you so much. I'm actually going to say the latest episode of American Horror Stories, that anthology series, the latest one is pretty good. I think it's decent. I got my review on YouTube if you guys want to check it out. But yeah, Matt, that means a lot. Thank you. Jack and Nicholson made a badass werewolf. There's a bunch of these werewolf movies. Like I said earlier, vampires are just people infected with a virus that leeches on our meat suits to keep their species alive.
I feel like that's more of a zombie. More so.
That's another thing. Are these things curable?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. Okay, so here, but that's another thing. So like, if you're going off certain lores, like the pelts that can actually turn you into a wolf.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, you could probably do away with the pelt. That's a cure.
No, but okay. So what about a vampire? Could you be a vampire for 300 years and then somebody cure this supposed virus and then you're just, I'm fine now?
No, you're dead.
I would assume you're dead. I would assume it's not a virus. I would assume that you are literally a corpse.
You are walking dead. You're a corpse. It's not possible.
But let's get into Skinwalker Ranch. Do you want to tell the folks about Skinwalker Ranch?
Oh, we're getting into Skinwalker Ranch?
If you're in, I mean, or Skinwalkers in general.
Oh, okay. I mean, Skinwalkers are. I feel like we have done an episode on Skinwalkers, but yeah, Skinwalkers are.
We didn't do an entire episode on it.
Not an entire episode.
We did Strange Places, and in that episode, we taught one of the places was Skinwalker Ranch.
Did you watch the docu-series on Skinwalker Ranch?
I only just pretty good. Somebody mentioned it, and I was like, I had no idea it was a thing. Netflix doesn't advertise their stuff good.
No, they don't.
There's so much stuff on Netflix that I just didn't even know was there.
I mean, it was pretty interesting. It didn't really it just dives into like the supernatural behind it. It doesn't like, there's no zombies, which made me really sad. Vampire is a corpse. Nothing sexier than a corpse. Hannah, I love you so very much, but some of the things that you say are just so off the wall.
I'm telling you, we're going to visit her out in Cali, and there's going to be like a strange scent in her bathroom.
Yeah.
And it's because there's 30 corpses buried under the floorboards. Yeah.
Daybreakers cure vampirism. Yes, there are stories and shows that are showing like that you can cure vampirism. I don't think in realistically there's a cure for being a vampire.
Just to let you guys know, that was a John Wayne Gacy reference I just made. John Wayne Gacy, the serial killer, a lot of people know him as the clown killer.
Yeah, I took that away from you. I'm sorry.
People were basically the cops were watching his house constantly, and he was very egotistical that they weren't going to catch him. And so he used to make coffee and food for the officers who had stakeouts, and he'd bring them food. He'd be like, "Hey guys," and then one day he's like, "Yo, you guys need anything? You want to use the bathroom?" And one of the cops was like, yeah, sure. And the cop went in to use the bathroom, and when he went in the bathroom, he smelled something funny. And just off of a weird odor, you can get a warrant. And they got a warrant, and they found 33 bodies buried under his house. The scent was coming up through the pipes. That's Hannah.
We love you very much.
We love you, Hannah.
Yeah.
So the Navajo believe in a creature known as a Skinwalker. Do you want to do this? Or you want me to do it?
We can do it together.
Okay. I don't know what that means. I don't know. We could do it together. What does that mean? We can't talk over each other, right? Does that make sense?
No, we can't talk over each other. I'm just setting. I don't know. Anyway, so the Navajo do believe in skinwalkers. This was a belief that it was a cursed witch doctor, like a witch doctor who was doing black magic, who could turn into a wolf, essentially.
So, check this out. I'd like to point out these strange connections. So the idea is that the Navajo believe that medicine men who engage in true evil acts and true evilness could obtain an ability to shapeshift, becoming a skinwalker. They could become the creatures of the forest, particularly a monster, like a monstrous one, right? Mm-hmm. Now, it's said that these things, when in these forms, are unkillable unless you have an arrow or a weapon dipped in white ash. Mm-hmm. That's fascinating. That almost sounds similar to the belief that you can only kill a werewolf with silver. Now, the ancient world believed that witches could turn into werewolves. They could summon this power through black magic and become these things as well. Is it interesting that Europeans and Native Americans had similar sounding legends?
I mean, it's always interesting but that's exactly why I believe in this stuff, is because when multiple cultures who have not even met each other yet have the same lore. Yeah, it's super interesting. Bigfoot.
Yeah. So Bigfoot. Yes. So the Bigfoot.
Yes,
is it possible that Yetis are just peaceful werewolves?
No, Yetis are Bigfoots. They're cool.
No, but I'm saying maybe they're like calm werewolves. They're all the same creature.
I gotta go, but you're all beautiful people. Have a lovely day. Have a good stream, Mantis and Lainey. Lots of love. Bye. Bye.
Thank you, Nora. Thank you.
For coming
that means
in.
a lot. You have a good one. You have a good night.
So Skinwalker equals siren versus werewolf equals vampire.
I do not understand that.
I don't understand that either. Sirens are completely different things.
Yeah, we'll go
on sirens too.
But of course, there's Skinwalker Ranch, which is a big deal. Of course, it doesn't get any closer to give us answers on what a werewolf is.
It doesn't give us any answers on what a werewolf is. It doesn't. So, but watch the docuseries. It's pretty decent. It's decently good. I think that there's going to be a second season, so I'm really excited about that.
Well, I'm a big Skinwalker Ranch
fanatic,
so I know all about it, about Terry Sherman and his family, and all the weird stuff they've experienced on there. However, a lot of it has to do with not only spotting of werewolves, but UFOs go there too.
Correct. Skinwalkers, werewolves, UFOs. It's a pretty interesting place. Like, there's a lot of supernatural stuff that happens there.
Are werewolves aliens?
No.
No?
No. I don't.
Are skinwalkers aliens?
No. No, I think that skinwalkers and werewolves are legit cursed beings. They're human that are cursed.
So are skinwalkers and werewolves the same creature?
I think that there is a connection between a skinwalker and a werewolf, yes.
So you think they're probably the same supernatural creature?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you're still turning into a wolf, so...
So on Skinwalker Ranch, they have werewolves. It's a coincidence they have werewolves and UFOs? They're not connected?
I don't think they're connected. I really do think that werewolves are cursed humans. I don't think that there is a connection between a UFO and a. I just think that this place has a lot of supernatural history. Also, if I were alien, I want to know, how, like, dude, I want to know a werewolf. Let me catch you a werewolf. Why not? Right?
You know, Tyrone Time says, my father was a Dracula. Thank you, Tyrone. Thank you for that.
I like it. I like it a lot.
So here's my I'm gonna be a real I heard Skinwalker Ranch is where Ezra Miller is. For all you know that woman hitting pedo Ezra Miller, who plays the Flash, is on the run. He's hiding somewhere. He's probably with his Skinwalker buddies.
Can we, like, Jesus, that man? Anyhow,
I can't honestly. I can't wait for the movie to come out so that it can crash and burn, and I can just laugh.
well, what are they going to do with that movie? Like, I feel like they're just going to have to redo the whole thing because I don't think that people are going to go and support it. And in my personal opinion,
no, there's no way. No one's going to support it. I just have a feeling that's a $200 million disaster. I think they'll put it on streaming.
Maybe.
You know,
I'm telling you though, it's DC is cursed, 100%.
Well, Ken says, "Are there aliens?" Yes, there are definitely aliens, and I'm about to
100% there are aliens.
I'm gonna do what you guys tuned in for in the first place. I'm gonna disagree with Lainey over here. So I'm gonna say that I actually believe that Skinwalker. Here's what it is. I believe Skinwalkers, or at least the things that were seen on Skinwalker Ranch, are not werewolves. I believe they're closer to the Chupacabra. And I believe that the Chupacabra and those things on Skinwalker Ranch are aliens.
Okay, but we're talking about Skinwalker Ranch compared to. But do you think that a werewolf is an alien?
A werewolf, no, but I think it's a different creature than
a Skinwalker is an alien.
Yes, I do. I think it's possible that that it's just a legend that it's a medicine man gone nuts.
But you think that it's an alien?
Yes, and the main reason is, and the whole phenomenon with Skinwalker Ranch is it's too bizarre. It is just too bizarre that werewolves hang out on a ranch where UFOs also kind of hang out.
Right, and I get what you're saying, but we're also talking about Skinwalker Ranch opposed to Skinwalkers, the actual Skinwalker from the Native American history.
And like I said, people try to give explanations to things that they don't know anything about.
Right.
So I think they saw shape-shifting aliens and they were like, I don't know what this is.
So you
it's a medicine man gone nuts.
But you don't think that a witch doctor could potentially turn themselves into a wolf?
I'd love to find out. We should find a medicine man.
I mean, we should find a medicine man. But here's the thing too, is that like we were just saying, that this isn't just Native American lore. This is also England lore and France lore, where witches turned themselves into these werewolf creatures. So if it's in two different places, you really don't think that a Skinwalker
or you know what it is more possible that they just call, here's what it's, the people at Skinwalker Ranch in the 90s, all the sightings of these creatures, they just called them Skinwalkers because they knew Skinwalkers are from the Navajo. And they just called them that, and they just misidentified what those things were.
Which makes super sense. But also, Skinwalker Ranch is super close to a reserve. It's
right.
It was
that's why Terry, what is it? Terry Sherman and his family assumed they were Skinwalkers because they were like.
Even the Indian, even that Native American culture believes that they are Skinwalkers. That they are cursed. That land was cursed. Watch the docuseries. You'll learn so much.
I you know what? I'd be shocked if they were able to give me any knowledge that I didn't already have.
Okay, all right, cool. But I'm just sitting here and saying that the Native American culture who lives at Skinwalker Ranch do believe that land was cursed by their ancestors, and that it is actual Skinwalkers who go among that land.
Right. So if that is the case, then what are these sightings of these UFOs these people are seeing?
But why can't you have sightings of multiple supernatural things in one land? So me personally, I don't think that it doesn't. it doesn't denote the fact that there are skinwalkers on Skinwalker Ranch, and it doesn't make it like, yeah, UFOs are always around supernatural things. I don't think that they're. I don't think that they're. I don't know. I don't.
Wait, new theory.
Think, okay.
No, you said it. Keep speaking.
I don't. I lost my thought.
Oh, you a new theory just in, guys, from Lainey. Lainey doesn't even realize she came up with this theory, but
I don't.
we're gonna credit her anyway.
Okay, great. Can you help?
Maybe UFOs are here to study paranormal activities.
But that's what I said 20 minutes ago.
You didn't say that 20 minutes ago, but I'm accrediting you with the idea right now.
Thank you. I appreciate
You're welcome.
You.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers to you. Cheers to you.
Untitled Chapter says, "Whoa, was just watching rap battles, but for werewolves. I'll forget it all. Love werewolves." Okay.
Hell yeah. Hello, Nigel. Welcome in. What do you think is the best werewolf fur color? I personally like the gray ones.
That's a really funny question, Matt.
I like the question. I
love the question. I love the question.
I'd be a white werewolf for sure. White with
Do you
blue
feel
eyes.
like you'd be white?
Yeah.
I like white.
Yeah.
What about all black? What about a black one?
Hell yeah.
I might be a black one. Once you go black,
you never go back.
Exactly. I just gotta say, guys, remember that. Skinwalkers look like humans with an animal coat on it. Yeah.
The best werewolves are whatever William is. He was top notch.
Because I mean, we could argue about this all day, but like in Skinwalker Ranch, the cattle that were mutilated, it's totally nuts that people are like, this is a human-made thing. They would suck the insides of a cow out through its eye socket. So when people would find the corpses, they would think it was a deflated cow.
Oh my god.
That's insane.
Right. I'm not sitting here and saying that there aren't aliens that go to Skinwalker Ranch. I'm just sitting here and saying that I do believe that there are werewolves or skinwalkers on Skinwalker Ranch as well. And I do believe that I don't understand what it is with aliens and their obsession with cows, though. It doesn't make sense to me.
Okay,
like, why cow?
So here's my whole thing. I believe.
Wait, Matt, what?
He doesn't believe because he's a non-believer. He doesn't believe in a lot of this stuff. I noticed.
Believe.
He's commanding you to believe. I believe that the Chupacabra and possibly the Skinwalkers are like whatever. I believe that there is a carnivorous, furry, animalistic alien that when it comes to planets, it targets our cattle for food purposes. I believe they suck the outside of those cows out to eat. That's a version of hunting.
Okay, yeah, I can get down with that for sure.
And that's what I think. And I think it's the same thing because also another thing they notice is not just the insides of the cow, but also the cows had no blood in them.
Oh, there you go. There's a new theory. I'm going to give you credit for this, Mantis. I'm going to give you credit and say that maybe these meat-sucking aliens think that skinwalkers are their own, and that's why they go to Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, maybe.
Oh.
Yo, maybe they're going to the other furry creatures and they're on the planet and they're like, where's a good place to eat?
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like, there's this ranch down the road. So Skinwalker Ranch is notable for having UFO lights in the skies, lights along the ground around cattle mutilations, and crop circles.
Yes.
It's also creepy. It's like a whole creepy place. The medicine man you described sounds more like a big fat / Yeti than werewolves. I mean, possible.
I mean, yeah, maybe Bigfoot is a werewolf. Mantis scared the theory out of her. Mantis just he makes me lose my train of thought. Lainey's laugh is infectious. Nah, thank you.
I can turn into a demon wolf, says Tyrone.
Hell yeah, Tyrone. I love
That's
that.
what's up.
Van Helsing. Oh yeah. Yeah,
So
you want to
is
do
it all right
a
if we
vampire.
brainstorm an idea for a future episode right here?
You want to do it right here, right now?
No, well, Tyrone just gave me an idea. What do you think of this idea?
Okay,
If it's a
I'm
bad
listening.
idea, you just let me know. But
I'm listening.
what if we have an episode
Uh-huh.
where we have people call in? They have to be willing to get on camera.
Okay.
If they can display a supernatural phenomenon. So if they're psychic or they can
Ooh.
transform into something, or they're a werewolf or they're a vampire, they show us on an episode.
I love that idea, and I think that would be a wonderful Mothership Monday.
Stamped. We'll do it in the future, right?
Stamped.
After we're done with our supernatural creature fiesta.
Yeah, I feel like we've got a lot to do.
It's good to stay busy in the streaming world.
For
Deflated
sure.
corpses. How cool. Hannah, wouldn't you like to take a look at those corpses?
At the cow corpses, 100%.
A deflated cow, I would love to see, even though it's gross.
Well, I mean, X-Files, greatest show ever.
Is Lainey using mind control to get people to believe in what she believes? She's using her laughter.
Believe.
I love it that she said meat loving alien, meat sucking alien.
Sucking aliens.
You know those logs of ground beef at the supermarket. Just imagine the alien take off the wrapper. And he's like, like it's one of those ices, those Italian ices from summer.
That's so gross. But yeah, I could see it. Oh, blow our mind.
Can't blow our minds.
And it does blow everybody's mind.
Like at the end of the the Howling. What a great movie. Speaking of entertainment, we really haven't delved well into the entertainment world.
Can we not delve well into the Can I be honest with you 100%?
No, you can't.
Oh.
I'm kidding. Go.
I actually have not watched a lot of werewolf movies. I is that like it's bad? It's really bad.
It's fun. You haven't seen The Howling?
Mm-mm. No, like I was going through movies today, and I'm like sitting here. I'm like, I think I have a pretty decent, fair amount of like werewolves movies and things that I've watched and done. And I'm like, holy crap! There's a shit ton of movies. It's like a huge list. And I'm like, that's another list I gotta watch.
So here's what it is. There are two types of werewolf movies.
Okay.
There's The Howling, and there's every other werewolf movie.
So The Howling is like the movie that I need to watch. Is that what you're telling me?
It's good now. I'm pretty sure the special effects are dated at this point. It was like late 80s or something when it came out.
Okay, but all of the like let's be honest, like
right.
But they're like the originals. Like
Yeah.
The smushed face and the fur everywhere, which I don't think personally is a werewolf. Like I when I see a werewolf, or think of a werewolf, I think of what is behind our faces. That is a werewolf to me.
So wait, I'm lost.
Why?
Well, so what is in a werewolf?
I like the smushed, more like human face with
Oh.
just fur everywhere.
Okay. So
like the original werewolf movie that like
so
actually gave us the special effects.
here's what I like about these role-playing games that I play with, like the World of Darkness, White Wolf games.
Would be into role playing.
And so, not that type of role playing. Get your head out the gutter. Werewolf the Forsaken, right? Werewolf the Forsaken. The way they break it down,
Mm-hmm.
where it's all werewolves are valid, basically. That's what they do.
Okay.
Right. And so they're saying depending on the phase of the moon, determines how much of a werewolf you can become. So on a new moon, you have to stay in your human form. But anywhere between new moon and half moon, you can be human or you can become a glabro. And a glabro is what you're talking about. A human with extra fur and pointy ears, big and tough.
Okay.
And then the next one is like at the half moon, you can turn into a wolf. You can turn into glabro or a full wolf, an actual wolf. And then after the half moon, when it's becoming in the gibbous, you can turn into the glabro, the wolf, or something they call a hispo, which is a giant prehistoric wolf, kind of like Twilight.
Okay.
And then finally on the full moon night, you can also take on, you can do any of those forms, or you can become the Krynos, and the Krynos is like these things, these hulking monsters. And so basically the game, kind of says like every werewolf story is somewhat valid,
So and this is actual like to our lunar mapping, like is it like in?
Well, the game is set whenever you want. The storyteller, which is like the GM,
right.
they determine it, and they would actually have a chart showing you what phase of the moon your game is in.
That's interesting. I like that.
Change the chart every day, every fictional day throughout the story. But it would determine how powerful you are in becoming a werewolf and stuff like that. But is it possible that all these things are werewolves? The smushed face. You refer to the glabro as the smushed face?
Well, now that you've kind of explained, like I like that concept a lot. I do believe that werewolves have the innate ability to turn when they want to. I don't think that, the moon is definitely a trope.
Yeah, that's something that didn't come into like actually to the late 1800s in the fiction.
Correct. Like
they can actually pinpoint the exact story. It's a book called Wagner the Werewolf. That was the first time they had it where it had to be the full moon.
Okay.
Before that, it was never discussed to be the full moon.
Wagner the Werewolf. I feel like I have a lot of reading and watching to do.
Yeah, that's an old classic, but
okay. But yeah, I feel like there could be evolution to werewolves and where they are in their transformation. Why not? Why haven't we talked about the moon at all? Exactly, Ken, and that's why I don't believe. Yes, obviously. So the belief of the lunar came because werewolves were considered lunatics. They were these horrible, murderous creatures that would go out and kill children and babies and like pregnant women. So that's where lunar came into the werewolf lore. It was because of the lunacy.
Well, and so yes, and lunacy's original definition back in the olden days was someone who was affected by the full moon. You were more sassy or crazy, or you were more extra during full moons.
Correct.
But later on, we started to use that to anyone who's psycho.
Right. Thank you. You are correct. So that's exactly where the idea of the full moon came in with the werewolf, that they only could turn on the full moon because they were lunar creatures, or lunatic creatures. So, and that's why I don't believe that the moon has anything to really do with werewolves. Although I do like the concept of this game. I can kind of see that being maybe something that is a possibility that they could. I don't know if it has anything to do with the moon mapping, but like they could probably. I don't know. I'm not a werewolf, but why couldn't they decide what form they were going to take?
So I would say that it's similar. I think you have the similar view on werewolves as I do as on vampires. I like fictional vampires more than what I believe real vampires to be.
Right.
I prefer Louis and Lestat.
Yeah.
Being beautiful forever.
But you don't think that that's a truth in a vampiric world. So
when I look up reports of vampires, like it's never that. It's always the dark side of it that we hate. It's the Nosferatus of the world. It's hideous, disgusting things that come out. Or very common ones are like someone who died in our village a while back is appearing to children or people when they go to sleep. And telling them horrible things like go kill yourself or something like that. That does not seem to correlate with what we're doing with
you
the
think
fiction.
You think that's more vampiric than like a spirit or like you think that that's a vampire?
Well, those are the reports of them, like people who are getting sick and losing their blood, and people who are doing things like like we're saying that one in Rhode Island, that one scare in Rhode Island in the 1800s. It wasn't just that they decided to pick on this girl. It's that people were reporting seeing her at night come to them, and she was saying psychotic things like, you should kill yourself. You're going to die. Nobody loves you, like crazy things. And then when they go to dig her up, or they go to her tomb, her body is completely preserved over months. And so I'm saying like that seems like a demon to me more than it's Anne Rice.
But I do feel like, yeah, I mean, listen, of course, I think that we all go more towards the science fiction behind any of these creatures. And like, yeah, I love the idea. I do love the idea of being a werewolf. I don't know. I do think that there's more truth behind the science fiction of werewolves than I do vampires. I hate to admit that. I don't know, but I do know people who have claimed to be vampires, and they're lovely human individuals. Like I met a guy from Transylvania who was like, I am a vampire, had fangs and all, and they were like they were natural looking fangs. Like I'm like, okay, like you're cool, you're a vampire.
Well, supposedly some people are saying that they're werewolves.
Right.
And I think Demon Omega was saying that he knows some.
Demon did state that he knows werewolves, and supposedly they don't like being called werewolves, which I would have loved to kind of dive into that. I'd like to know why they don't like to be called werewolves. If that's what you are, that's what you are, right?
But in the modern age, people don't like being called anything, right? We're not allowed to use any words.
Truth.
Remember when white people told us we can't call black, black's black? You know what I'm saying? Like basically every term is wrong, right? You can't call people gypsies anymore.
No, and it's like, okay, like I don't know, I am what I am. like call me how it is, guys. It's okay.
Well, what it is people get offended by a word.
Well, people get offended so easily these days. It's not even funny. Like
here's what it is, and what's funny is it's not usually the group that's involved. And a perfect example is the term Latinx.
Mm-hmm.
So what it is that a lot of white, and no offense to anybody out there, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make this political, but a lot of white allies from the left community are saying that they're like, well, you should do a Latinx. But if you actually talk to a Latino or a Latin person, they don't want to be called that. No. Their language is very gendered.
Yeah.
One way or the other. Things are either ending in A or O, right? So they don't, that's not their thing. It's people who feel like they're privileged enough to take over what to call people. And it's funny that it's extending into the supernatural community. Somebody's like, the term is not vampire.
Yeah, that makes no sense to me. It's like, okay, like what do you want to be called then? Bloodsucker? I don't get it. But anyway,
Giles Gardner. Mm-hmm. The guy was dedicated to werewolves. Oh my god, I would love to look into this dude.
Me too, for sure. I don't know. Okay, so my question is though, Mantis, you view werewolves similarly to me or not similarly?
Well, I agree with you. The moon probably has nothing to do with them, and I wouldn't be surprised if one day when a werewolf attacks me and I use a silver dagger on him and it does nothing. I'm like,
it's not gonna do anything.
And I'm like, what the movie said.
I do believe the wolfsbane. I do think that wolfsbane can kill anything. Let's be honest.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's probably ancient man figured that one out, and that's what they call it, wolfsbane, right?
100%. I mean, it's literally named after the werewolf.
Do you find it weird that, like, also with the skinwalkers, it's fascinating to me that somebody's like, a weapon dipped in white ash is the only thing that can hurt it, and then across the seas, the only thing that could was the silver.
Right. So, like, where did this lore come from? Like, I feel like if you're gonna shoot something, it doesn't matter if it's silver or not. Like, you're gonna die, right?
So no, what it is certain metals are bad for various supernatural creatures. Like, for instance, the Fae and fairies do not like cold iron. And that's the iron we use is not cold iron. The iron we use is part iron and part other metals. Mm-hmm. But cold iron is pure iron. Mm-hmm. And so supposedly they hate that metal. They want to stay away from it. If you want to trap a fairy, you put them in shackles made of cold iron. If you want to kill them, you use a weapon made of cold iron for whatever reason.
Right.
And werewolf, it was a werewolf. It was funny, interesting. The old lore was vampires and werewolves was silver.
Correct.
Where this comes from, I have no idea.
Where did this supernatural stuff come from? Like, just I don't know. It is very interesting to think of all of these tropes, basically. like a vampire, you're gonna scare a vampire away with a cross, or holy water's gonna burn it. I don't think that those are true. They're tropes. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, I think I actually believe in the cross thing, but I also believe in the true faith thing. That you have to have true faith to make it work.
Okay.
Which is why it's not going to work for you, Lainey. You're going to get eaten. Sorry.
That's fine. Turn me into a vampire. I'm fine with it. I'd rather be a werewolf, but I'll be an everlasting, beautiful creature of the night. Why not? Turn me.
This is fun. Yeah. Oh, where does the steak from a heart come from?
I mean, that's
not the meat steak, Suzanne. Yeah, we know not the meat steak.
Probably the church with all of the remedies. Probably. I mean, the church has all these remedies that they didn't even want to acknowledge the fact that werewolves were a thing. Even though they knew that werewolves were a thing, they took it out of the writings. They said, absolutely not. It is a sin for you to accept that werewolves are real. And then they changed it and were like, well, now that witches can turn into werewolves and people are being seen as werewolves, we have to accept the fact that there are werewolves. So it's not a sin anymore. And basically are like, you have to believe in werewolves. Christianity, man, is bizarre. Sorry.
I don't even know what your rant means right now. I can't even follow your thoughts.
Okay, so basically, when
you're having bag lady thoughts right now.
No, I'm not. Are you saying I'm a bag lady now? God, you are.
Sorry, go on.
I'm just saying this hole is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay.
That I'm digging myself into.
Yes, 100%. What I'm saying is that Greek mythology was basically the first belief of basically all of it. Lycans, it was lycans, vampires, and zombies. It was Greek mythology that
I mean, there are multiple religions that predate that.
There are multiple religions that, yes, 100%, but this is where they were written down. Like, they started writings. Like, I mean, it was Egyptians, and it was Greeks, and it was the Romans. They all started writing these stories down about all three of these. Actually, there's a creature that it's Greek. Val something. I know the I know the word. Anyway, that states is basically all three just rolled into one. A zombie, vampire, werewolf. It's rolled into one.
I mean, ultimately, like, I think it's hard to classify when we can't sit down and talk with these things, right?
Oh, 100%.
I'd love to take. I would love to see like a European werewolf and a skinwalker sit down and have a talk with them and be like, "Are you guys the same thing? What's the deal?"
That would be pretty legit. That would be pretty legit.
Yeah.
I mean, I do know that like the berserkers. That's something. I don't know though. I think that they really maybe did actually embody the spirit of the animal rather than being a werewolf.
I think they were trying to channel. Here's what it is. So what I do, I think that this is so complicated to explain. So I think they were trying to channel something that they saw their ancestors do, and they didn't have a full grasp on what their ancestors were doing. And then I do think it is possible that they had ancestors who could turn into half wolf or wolf things, and they just don't understand it. And they're like, "Well, if you channel enough, it'll happen." That's
right.
Not really how it happens, right?
No, I don't think that's how it happened. I do think that Norse to me were like the first witches, and in my personal opinion, their religion is super witchy, super pagan.
Yeah, I mean, there's a different type of witches in different religions, and all that stuff.
Correct. Do you think that maybe werewolves just went the way of the dinosaur and died off a long time ago? No, I do believe that werewolves are still around.
If any of you in chat are a werewolf, we would love to have a conversation with you. So please,
100%.
If you're embarrassed putting it in chat, feel free to send us DMs. My DMs are open. So, uh, I think they're alive today. And so, like, Hannah says, I think they're alive today. People see them to this day. Absolutely. Oh, remember when we were watching in Brunch with Fat Mantis? We were watching that guy talk about the national parks. And he had 2 werewolf stories.
Oh, yeah. He had like 3 or 4 werewolf stories. There were more than 2.
And there was just two that strike out to my mind. And so, like, the first one was like, the couple that are really good, they're normal little campers. They do it all the time. And the creature, like a giant creature, just kept messing with them. And it smelled of corpses.
Mm-hmm.
And it knew it was out there. And he stayed up all night with his gun.
He did.
He's like, that was not a normal wolf.
Well, I mean, I 100% believe that werewolves are still very, very active and in society. Yeah.
Do you believe in the national parks conspiracy?
Of werewolves?
That the national parks were created to protect us normal people from
supernatural things?
Some sort of supernatural creature or creatures that live out in the woods.
No, I don't believe. I believe that they were actually created to lure us into supernatural things. If you think of it, like, it's not a protection. It's like literally like, here you go and be in this beautiful national park and get eaten by a supernatural being.
What I'm saying is that lowers the number of people there because we're not allowed to go and build there. But I think it's possible that the creatures that they're protecting us from are like fairies or werewolves or Yeti.
Well, I totally believe in fairies. I believe in the Fae, 100%.
You know, with the whole thing with the steps, the steps out in the woods, I think it's very possible that they're trying to protect us from whatever's out there. And possible. So because remember,
wait a minute, you think that the Fae are trying to protect us?
No, the Parks Department is trying to defend us.
Okay.
So like what it is what the national, the National Parks Department, because what they do is they cut off these lands and they're protected, no one can build there. Mm-hmm. And then they make roads and they go, you can only camp in these areas. They're restricting where we can camp because they don't want us wandering deep in. And it's always when these people go deep in that they vanish or something weird happens.
I want to go to a national park and I want to go deep.
No. Yeah. You can go balls deep for all I care. I'm not going with you.
You're not going with me? Wait a minute. So you want me to go on a haunt with you, but you won't go to a national park with me and go deep in?
Yeah.
Really?
I'll fight. Yes, national parks I will not. There are 2 things I'm not going to fuck with. That's national parks, and that's oceans.
I don't understand your absurd, like, I don't know. Maybe
here's what I'm saying. If we knew someone with a nuclear submarine and they're like, I can take you down deep and you can check out this weird, like a Kraken, I'd say no. Have fun.
I'd be like, fuck yes, let's go. Really?
Man was never meant to go deep. That's my point. That's what I think.
I think that's actually the opposite. Man was definitely meant to go deep, but...
I'm just saying, like, no, and I don't think, the things I hear about national parks, people disappearing, weird stuff, these staircases, I don't want to deal with it. No.
Okay. Okay. I would 100%.
Okay.
Go.
Theoretical question. Okay. You are out there. You're doing your investigation. You encounter one of these staircases. What would you do?
I would not walk up the staircase, but I would try to document the fact that I'm seeing this staircase. But I wouldn't walk up it. There's no way in hell. Would you walk? Like, I mean, you're obviously sitting here and saying that you wouldn't even go. So, like, but yeah, I would absolutely love to see one of those staircases in a forest or a national park.
So Anna asks, does it smell like corpses because it is one or because it eats corpses? That's a good question. I don't know.
Both.
Is it an undead thing? Is a werewolf an undead thing? Possibly.
No,
I bet it's alive. I bet it's not like a thing, but it could be, or it could eat corpses. Yes, and wait, so
you think that werewolves are undead?
Well, I don't, but here's what I'm saying: anything's possible. I don't know anything about werewolves. A real werewolf.
No, werewolves are they're not undead.
I think they're probably connected to Mother Nature and life and all that stuff.
I think it's cursed. But what a cool curse to have. Curse me.
He says Teddy Roosevelt is the real Van Helsing. Yes, I think he was. I think he knew what was going on. Because he had been out there. He was a naturalist.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's actually funny? I was going to suggest that before. One of the best books I've ever written, or not written, read. Sorry, get those phrases confused. Is Beasts I Have Known. Have I told you about this book?
No.
So it's about one of the founders of the Boy Scouts.
Okay.
And so back in the day, the Boy Scouts was like a serious survival group.
Yeah.
And so there were these naturalists, these guys who like went out there and were just surviving all the time. It was like 5 of them who founded it, and one of them, he was like a mercenary during the cowboy days.
Okay.
He used to have to do like farm people used to hire him to just do crazy stuff. He had to go kill some wolves, and the problem is that they had a way to trap wolves. They would kill a cow and poison its blood, and then when the wolves came and ate, they would die.
Right.
And so then what would happen is this one pack of wolves would always avoid the poisoned cow and go kill the other ones.
Right.
They hired this guy to go kill it, and he documents it. He actually writes his journals, and it's almost like he falls in love with the wolf because the wolf is so smart throughout the book. And this has actually happened. It keeps avoiding his traps. It's like a super smart wolf. And he has an admiration for this creature. It's called Beasts I Have Known. It's an amazing read.
I'll have to read that. That sounds
But
really
it's
good.
interesting that it also has to do with wolves.
But this is also, if this is a docu book, like it's real. Like this is
real,
actually.
yeah.
Okay.
It's journal entries up from this dude. And
Yeah,
so he would
definitely.
later on in life become one of the guys who founded the Boy Scouts.
Okay.
Because they thought that like if you had survival training, you'd be a better man, basically. Because they were alphas. They were a group of alphas. Nowadays the Boy Scouts are a bunch of pussies. Don't get me started.
Oh my God, I cannot with you. I cannot.
I was a Boy Scout. That uniform used to mean something.
Okay.
Sorry guys. Schnauders, Luca is here. Luca, it has been too long. You're not gonna catch me deep into the oceans or national parks. So yes.
Yeah, I don't agree. Listen, if I had the opportunity to go deep in the ocean, yes, 100%. And I think that, like, I feel like somebody who believes in the supernatural, I want to find the supernatural.
But what's the point of going to the staircases if you're not going to climb them?
Because I know it's there.
No, I don't want to be. I don't want to have the
what?
challenge.
I'm gonna go with a friend like Hannah, and I'm gonna let her walk up the steps.
Hear that, Hannah? You're bait. When it comes to the woods, I'm like Chunk in the Goonies. I love the dark, but I hate nature. So I love nature. Provided it's within controllable boundaries. I think it's insane. Those people were insane. I think those people were insane who were like, "I'm gonna go survive with nothing." Look, everyone will be impressed that I'm gonna go out in a park and.
Well, I couldn't survive, so I wouldn't do that. But I think that people who can survive, it's pretty. I don't know. I think it's animalistic. I think.
But a bunch of people do not come back. Right.
It's a risk I'm willing to take.
So hold on. You're a survivalist?
I mean, I would like to think that I would. I don't think I would do very well on one of those TV shows because, like, I don't know shit about shit. But like,
you don't have any outdoor skills.
I mean, I could make a pretty mean hut if I had to. Like, I've watched enough, but do I know what I'm doing? Fuck no. Like, I am a beach babe. Like, I don't know anything.
I love it. Nigel says it's going to get real political when you sit down Twilight Wolves with dog soldiers with Yetis and Wendigos and see them hash out their idiosyncrasies.
Yes, absolutely. Twilight Wolves to me were the most lame wolves in the pack. Like, it made me super sad.
So Ken, I started as a Cub and then a Weeblo and a Boy Scout, and I actually quit during Boy Scouts. I did not make it to Eagle. However, I have such high respect for people who make it to Eagle.
So do you think that you would survive?
I'd survive longer than most, but not super long. I wouldn't be able to.
No. But you think that you would survive a zombie apocalypse, but you don't think that you could survive. Are you or are you not a survivalist? Like,
I'm a survivor, which is a different thing. So I'm a survivor. No,
okay.
that's it.
No, I got it. It's cool.
Here's the difference. Here's what I'm going. Here's why there's a difference.
So you're basically sitting there and saying that you wouldn't opt to be a survivor. You would survive through something that forced you to survive.
Yes. So wait, hold on. No, wait. Here's the thing. Because I'm a scavenger.
Oh. So
I'm a scavenger, and I like competing with other people. So I'll kill you for your food, and then that's how I get the food.
So
but if you put me out in the wilderness and you're like, go hunt a moose, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not hunting a moose. Fuck that. But if I'm in a city where that's just filled with a bunch of zombies, I can fucking get food. Survive.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
totally different skill sets.
No, I 100% agree with you. Like, if I had to skin an animal, I would figure it out. But I know I would figure it out. It's not that difficult. But like, and I did not mean that disrespectfully. I just think that I could figure that out. I'm sure that it's
poor
actually
puppy dog. That poor puppy dog.
But like, no. But like, if you think about it, like you know, you could figure it out. So yeah. I think that I could be a badass survivalist if I had to be.
And so Matt says I was a Boy Scout. And it was hard. You had to survive in the woods with trail mix and testosterone, hardcore. I did do that stuff, but that's not the type of stuff I'm talking about right now. The stuff that we did as Boy Scouts is not the same thing as those guys who are like, I'm going to go out to the Yukon or something and drink my own piss and hunt moose. That's a different level of survival that I just don't think Yeah,
I mean, I got it. Like, I don't think that. Listen, also, I think that these people who are doing these shows literally live in similar lifestyles. Like, I think that they know what they're doing. Like, they probably live in the wild. I don't know. Actually, that's not true, because I actually do know somebody who did what's that? Naked and Afraid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like I went to school with this guy, and he survived. It's pretty cool.
So, there were 3 things that men, and I'm gonna speak about men here, and I'm sorry if whatever people feel.
I'm not surprised.
Okay, so there's 3 things that men directly connect to a man's ego that he misgages on a daily basis because it's connected to his ego.
Okay.
The 3 things are fighting, survival or manly skills. That includes like being handy around the house, and getting it on.
Oh, getting it on. Okay.
Every man thinks that he's better at these things than he actually is. And I know from firsthand, you need training in all of these things to be able to do it correctly. I promise you, there's a guy who's never gotten laid who thinks he's the greatest lover in the world. There's a guy who's never been in a fight who thinks because he's watched a few YouTube videos, he can handle himself. It's all bullshit. There's a bunch of people who are like, I know what a screwdriver is. They think they can make a coffee table. You ain't making shit, bro. You're not making anything, okay? Straight up.
Okay. Yeah. I like her idea. Bring a sacrificial friend to see what's up while you video it. Smart on her. Thank you, Nigel. I mean, like, yeah, I would totally bring a friend who is totally down to go up the stairs. I wouldn't personally go up the stairs because I do think that they're a portal to something. But if I had a friend who was like, fuck yeah, I'm going up the stairs, have at it. Have fun. I'll video.
Hold up says, I love Central Park. Does that count as loving nature? I've definitely spent the night in Central Park. That doesn't mean I'm a survivalist. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even want to know why you spent the night in Central Park, but okay. Good on you.
Here's what it is. Before the fascists took over New York City, there was a time where you could pass out in New York City drunk and in Central Park and not get bothered. You'd wake up at 5 a.m. You're like, what's going on? You're like, I passed out here, and no one would bother you. Now they have patrols in Central Park closes, and they want that out. But
yeah, well, I mean, it's super dangerous in New York now. I wouldn't want to fall asleep in Central Park.
I always killed. The few times that it happened, I definitely killed myself. I was like, why did I do that? I'm an idiot. I could have been like a serial killer. Could have killed me.
I slept in my car one time in New York.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, thank God a serial killer didn't get you.
I mean, I locked my doors.
Still. Yeah.
True.
Ken says Fat Mantis would become a Yeti.
I can see you as a Yeti. You're tall enough.
Oh yeah, I'm practically Bigfoot basically. If you guys ever want to make a Bigfoot video, I will proudly play Bigfoot in a wig. It's me in a wig, and then I walk slowly and meandering, and then I'm walking, and then I look at the camera. I walk
She called Twilight Wolves lame. Hold on, bring that back.
Wait, where?
Damn, you're just running through these.
Sorry. No,
she called Twilight Wolves lame, and I legit almost subscribed. How could they disrespect my favorite supernatural creature? Exactly. But also, why did you almost subscribe? Just do it.
Yeah, get on that, Nigel. This is where the party's at, my man.
But yeah,
we have all the fun here.
They totally disrespected werewolves. They really did. It was disgraceful to see what they had done. And then the making of that movie was just bleh. Sorry.
He's tall enough to be a Yeti. I swear, lady is psychic. She has powers we can't understand.
I already told you that I have psychic powers, guys. Yeah, it's truth. I know all.
Oh darn, my show is coming on. Oh, I gotta remember you guys for later. Yo, have a good one, Nigel. Thank you for stopping in.
Nigel, thank you so much. Make sure to subscribe. We're here every Monday.
Mantis giving away all the man secrets. Yeah, it's true though. People think there's so many people who go and die like dumbasses, and they're like, I am totally a survivalist. I'm so tough because they were a Boy Scout. To really survive, if you're really going to go into really in the middle of nowhere, you really need good skills.
I know for a fact that I wouldn't survive if I chose to go out and survive, but I'm kind of like you. I feel like I could totally be a scavenger, and I can pierce a zombie in the head and be totally fine with it. And but no, I couldn't. I don't think that I could survive. I think that I would like to think that I could survive.
Maybe those skills are also connected to everyone's ego about surviving.
I think so. I mean, we are animalistic beings. I don't think that we ever lost that. We haven't evolved out of that.
So, wait, hold on. You're in the woods. What are you gonna eat?
I mean, I'm gonna bring a knife, and
You're gonna bring a knife and you do what with it?
Stab an animal.
So you realize it's harder to snatch. It's so much harder to snatch an animal than anyone can possibly think.
I know.
I'll hunt a rabbit. It's hard to catch rabbits. Rabbits are slippery.
No, but so I feel like I've watched enough where I would bring wire and I'd make snare traps, and I would, I would be able to survive. I think, but I don't know. I've never had to go out there and try to survive. We were drunk, so you both slept in Central Park. Yeah, y'all are.
It's
nuts.
Not like we cuddled or anything. I know what you're implying.
Right, I'm sure you didn't cuddle.
No, it should also be the Frankenstein monster. Yo, whatever video you want to make, Hannah, you just give me a call. I'm torn between Underworld or the Howling.
Underworld was now I personally loved the Underworld movie saga, whatever you want to call it. But I do think that their lore was very, very badly done.
Because it's really an action movie first, and it's a supernatural thing second.
Correct.
So they cared more about flips and shooting guns than ripping off the Matrix than actually being about where.
I don't think they ripped off the Matrix. I wouldn't go that far.
They weren't ripping off it, but they were playing off that energy where, in the late 90s, everyone was like, my character will just wear black leather.
Yeah,
so cool. They did it with the X-Men. They did it with all these things. We're trying
but
to
also Kate Beckinsale, that woman could do dirty things to me.
She can bite me anytime.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Hannah says berries. How do you know they're not going to be poisoned, Hannah?
I think I know enough about berries to know if they're poisoned.
You don't know anything about berries. You buy your berries at Whole Foods. What do you know? What do you know about picking berries?
I have an Acme, thank you, not a Whole Foods.
Classy. I was just saying, what do you know about this?
I don't know shit.
Okay.
I don't
I'm
know
just
shit.
saying, like,
Honestly, I'm not sitting here and saying that I would be good at surviving. I would say that I would try my hardest to survive. Thank you, Lainey. What did I say?
man, just only person in history to compare Underworld and The Matrix. I'm saying stylistically.
Stylistically, I get what you're saying.
It was very 90s. This was happening in comic books too. It was, they called it the Iron Age, where superheroes were suddenly like paramilitary groups. They were all wearing black. They had guns. They had superpowers, but for some reason they were just giving everyone guns, and everyone was just blowing people away. And everyone wanted to be the Punisher, and they were so hip. They looked like they were going to like a club or something. That was the 90s for you.
No, I get that. I get what you're saying, but all I'm saying is that, like, I do think that Underworld Saga was good. I know that some people
I like it. I like it, but what I'm saying is they focus more on being an action movie than really being about vampires and werewolves. Like, they didn't really have much of a mythology.
No, their mythology was completely
like basically all the story they were ever going to tell was in the one, and then that was it. You know, with the Corvinus family.
Oh, the Corvinus family, and like it was a weird tie-in. It was a weird tie-in.
I love it when that old guy, though, the old vampire, they go, the legend of the Corvinus family. And he said, yes, I know. 3 brothers. One was bitten by a bat, the other bitten by a wolf, and the last one had to walk the lonely road of mortality.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm just sitting there like, wait, was it a lonely road of mortality, though? Because, like, I feel like it's probably more lonely to be an immortal in my personal.
Yeah, definitely, man. Not only that, you're an immortal, you have to hang out with your crew the whole time forever. You never get to get rid of them.
Right. I'll be right back. Oh my god.
Okay, it's all right. And then Snouter says Barry Roulette. It is Barry Roulette out there. Just read some of these horror or watch these videos about horror stories about survivalists, man. The guy's like, I identified some good berries. He eats them. Boom, he's dead. He's dead. I'll take the chance and die a happy berry life. Do you guys remember that movie where Uncle came to visit and had an epic battle with the family's dog? I need more details. The movie where the uncle came to visit and had an epic battle with the family's dog. What movie is he describing? Bonus points to anyone who knows. 8 berries and mushrooms, and if they are poisonous, oh well. No, it's not oh well. You want to live. The goal is to live, Hannah. I did like the whole vampire hierarchy thing in Underworld. Blade is that movie. Yo, Blade. I love Blade, yeah. But that was the thing. Like, everyone was wearing black and shooting stuff up. Like, it was an endless... it was just nutty. I like those movies. I like Underworld. I like Blade. I like The Matrix. I like Equilibrium. All these movies. But that was just like the style back then. It
was. It was definitely the style back then. I get you. Hi, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Hello.
Should I bring back movie night in my Discord?
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like people are wanting us to do movie nights in the Discord with Underworld.
I mean, I would totally be down for that. I know that we were talking about doing movie night in my Discord as well. I think it's a great idea. I think that honestly, the more events that you have in a Discord is the more active your people are going to be, right. And possibly the more active that they're going to be coming into our streams again.
So normally I'm going to do it on Saturday. Should I do it this weekend or the next weekend? Should I start this?
Well, have fun. I won't be there.
Saturdays you can't. Thursday? What about Thursday? You can't any night. What are you talking about? Why are you pretending like there's some night you can have a movie night?
I just want to be involved.
Okay, this Thursday night I'm gonna do Underworld Part 1 in my Discord in the VC.
What time?
I will put more information in my Discord. For those of you who don't know the wonders of my Discord, I'm gonna put that up there.
Oh yeah, I guess.
And then Lainey, you also should put in the link to yours.
Yeah.
But Hold Up TV says, look what happened to the guy who went into the wild. Yes, Into the Wild is that movie, man.
Into
know
the
what?
Wild was a crazy movie. Just
Crazy. Yeah,
gonna
join
put
the
that out
Discords, guys. These are
there.
our Discords.
Yeah, that was a crazy movie.
Oh,
Also
it's the
based off of
dog movie Cujo. Is that Cujo he was describing?
the dog Uncle. Cujo Cujo was that horror movie, wasn't it? Sorry, the uncle was a werewolf and he had.
Yes, I
endemic
know
battle
this
with
movie.
things.
Hold up. Oh my god, I can't remember it. The dog knows that he's a werewolf, is the thing. And he's trying to protect his family.
I don't think it was Cujo.
No, it's not Cujo. Cujo's a different movie. But what I'm saying is the uncle is a werewolf and he means them harm. And the dog, family dog knows, oh, it's gonna kill me. That's actually a good movie.
Okay. I'll have to. Okay, but we can't figure out the name of it. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, we're trying to figure out the name. But yeah, so the uncle's a werewolf. The dog knows what's up. The dog protects the family. It's cute. It's adorable. It's awesome.
Okay.
Never got to join previous movie nights, so this might be cool. Yeah, so this Thursday. So here's the thing: I'm going to be away this weekend, so I can't do any shenanigans over the weekend. But why don't we do Thursday night? Let's do Underworld Part 1 in my Discord because everyone loves it, and it seems I have a feeling you all want to watch it again.
I'm totally down. I love movie nights.
Will you be available on Thursday?
I mean, it depends on what time you're going to do it, or I'll just show up late.
We'll talk. But this was an excellent stream. Unfortunately, I have to eat dinner. So, So did we finally prove that werewolves are real? Is that what just happened?
I think we definitely proved that werewolves are real. I mean, listen, I believe that they're real. I think that you believe that they're real. I hope that you all believe that they're real. Guys, ready?
Yeah.
Believe.
Is it bad moon? It could be bad moon. It's bad moon. Matt is so good at that.
Matt is really good at that.
Matt is really good at identifying like things. He's just like boom, boom, boom.
100%. Matt, thank you for identifying everything.
But I've had so much fun. Do you have any final thoughts, Lainey, about werewolves and like?
No, I think that we touched all bases on werewolves. Like I said, I would prefer to be a werewolf over a vampire. So all my wolfy friends out there, hi. Teach me your ways.
She wants to run with you naked in the woods.
I want to run with you naked in the woods. Absolutely. And do wolfy things.
Ken says to be sure to do witches and warlocks on the stream. Yes. Before the summer's out, we still have a couple more weeks of August, which means we're going to have dragons. We'll do witches and warlocks definitely. And we might even do like maybe fairies or something.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yes, 100%. We've got, we're doing this every Monday.
Every Monday, but we're doing creatures throughout the summer, and then after that, we're going to do more obscure stuff. But it's amazing, living that dream.
Always amazing.
Please join the Discord. Come through for all our shenanigans. We love you all. This is the Fat Mantis reminding you to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and no matter what app you're on, remember to give us all the love, whether it's a subscription or a follow or a heart or an emoji, or throw us a spoon, throw us a diamond. Throw us a hologram, whatever the app is selling, do it. Do it. But you guys stay wolfy. This is Mothership Monday signing off. And until next time, ciao for now.
Bye, guys.
Peace.